Creepypasta, a familiar term to any internet veteran, referring to short horror fiction posted and spread online, sometimes anonymously, often accompanied with disturbing images. Slender Man, Jeff the Killer, Smile Dog, Onision, viral terrors that shaped a generation, and horror media in the years to come. Our nights were spent scouring the Creepypasta Wiki or listening to YouTube narrations, keeping ourselves awake with dread. And our days were spent frantically recounting our friends at school with what horrible things Steven Hillenburg allegedly saw during that one SpongeBob episode test screening. And let's be real with ourselves. We tried writing our own at some point. Maybe we stuck to the Creepypasta Wiki, or maybe we tried our luck on r/no sleep. Regardless, we thought, hey, if these randos can write scary stories and achieve viral status, why can't I? And for pretty much all of us, that didn't quite happen. For every creepypasta that we know and love, how many are out there that never got the attention they assumedly deserved? Thousands? Millions? Wiki entries buried in obscurity? Reddit posts with 2 upvotes on accounts inactive for a decade or more? Blank profiles on short story sharing sites, abandoned when the user's works simply couldn't draw on the numbers? Can we even classify these brief gasps of amateur horror as creepypasta? Sure, they're short, scary stories on the internet, but without the engagement or staying power you'd expect from one? Do you even remember the titles of those pieces you wrote, or where you posted them? Without you, who's loving them now? Okay, post-production Nick here, interrupting the video. So, I put a picture of Lucy on my community tab, and apparently a few of you want me to turn ownership of the channel over to the cat and have her start making content. Sure, why the hell not? Let's make this a cat videos channel. Let's give it a shot. Alright, Lucy. Let's make some content. There you go. Talk about books. Talk about horror media. Here's your microphone. Lucy. There. Alright. Talk about horror media. Talk about anything at all. Engagement. In doing research for a past video, I managed to uncover my old profile on the Creepypasta Wiki. My username, non-playable character, was derived from the fact that my real-life initials are NPC, which was cool up until 2016, when NPC became a meme, and I became the target of a bunch of hilarious, refreshingly original jokes. My profile picture is the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, which 2013 Nick thought was edgy and cool. No disrespect to the movie, it's just so indicative of my 2013 mentality. There were 2 creepypastas I put out on the wiki. One, posted in December 2013, concerned 2 brothers who find a mysterious blank-faced doll in their basement. As time goes on, the doll and the younger brother begin to swap essences until the boy becomes the doll, and the doll becomes the boy. I think. Yeah, I don't remember many plot details or even the name of this piece. The only other thing I contributed was a poorly edited image I'd made in Photoshop in the school computer lab that I think looked something like this. Absolutely chilling. I couldn't find the image, nor the story. And the deeper I dug, the sooner I discovered that the piece had actually been deleted for being too cliched and generic, and that my attempt to re-upload it resulted in a 1-day ban. I think that's when I decided to stop visiting the Creepypasta Wiki. So while the doll of Dorian Gray was a bust, let's turn our attention to the other entry on my profile, technically the first. Posted around November 2013, entitled Taxet, after the Haida god of violent death. It features a homicide detective investigating a brutal murder in a Vancouver log cabin. The only clue lies in the form of a mounted deer head on the wall, one that has unnervingly realistic human eyes. One might even say, hyper-realistic. And then this happens. Despite being accompanied by another Photoshop edit I made in the computer lab, this one apparently passed the originality check, as it remains on the wiki to this day. Why I categorized it under mental illness is beyond me. It got a handful of comments, with the most recent one being from 2019. Thank you, Taylor. Don't know why you need a piece of bacon for an exorcism, but if it's God's way, then go off, King. It's hard to read this story nowadays. Like many writers, it's uncomfortable to revisit past work, especially from so far back. Now, I could choose to see it as a testament to how far I've come, but the piece makes me cringe, so you're gonna cringe along with me. What's our absolute banger of an opening line? My life has been a rather dull series of events. You see what I did there? I set up contrast. Because what happens later in the story is not a dull series of events. Wow. Genius. Also, I'd hate to hear what a homicide detective who views his life as a dull series of events considers exciting. Do 14 baby corpses need to be sewn to a giraffe or something? We also learn that the preceding events would herald the beginning of the end, the start of his descent into madness.
Oh, the cliches! They're driving me to madness!
For the rest of the story, the pacing is garbage, the verb choice is shaky, and the tension is non-existent. I will admit that some of my descriptions were on point, but that's the most credit I can give. Also, the explanation as to the haunted deer head involves the locals saying it's the Haida deity, taxet, to which the narrator brushes off, claiming there's no such things as Native American gods. Real riveting introspection there, guy. So that was my first experience with posting short, scary stories on the internet. Seemed about typical. I didn't become the next Stephen King, but it made me feel good knowing I'd actually put something out there. As the years passed, I moved on to other ventures, and my Creepypasta Wiki profile sat gathering dust. But it was only when I manually Googled the name taxet in my aforementioned video research that I found something out. Unbeknownst to me, fellow YouTubers over the years had come across taxet and narrated it on their channels. This is not unheard of, especially considering the controversy surrounding r/no-sleep, regarding a long spate of YouTubers narrating and monetizing user content without permission or attribution, which came to a head in early 2020. However, as I had posted taxet to the wiki without any guarantee of reserved rights, I wasn't making money off it, and I don't really care to revisit it, I don't mind what others do with this piece. Granted, some adaptations were kind of insulting, such as this guy who just pasted the article into a text-to-speech generator and uploaded the audio file.
My life has been a rather dull series of events. However, something in particular would herald the beginning of the end.
Embarrassing! On the other hand, you have this one, translated to and narrated in Polish, uploaded as recently as 2021, that has since racked up over 45,000 views. Damn. It truly warms my heart knowing that 45,000 Polish horror fans have listened to this cruddy creepypasta that I wrote 10 years ago. And look, he also linked to the original post. That's bonus points in my book. And examining further, I also saw that my creepypasta got a shout out on TV tropes. Pack it up, folks. Nick Carlson Press has officially been troped. Time to retire. But let's be real for a bit. Does any of this make me internet famous, however that's defined these days? Is it really worth all the hoopla? I mean, I'm making a video about it, but you know what I mean. Truth be told, no. It's something funny and kind of cool that happened to me, and that's it. But that's okay. I have every right to feel proud. I made it, and it inspired a bunch of others to carry on its legacy in their own ways. But still, being a creator online can sometimes feel like being a satellite sent out into deep space. tumbling through the cold, empty black, sending out signals with no guarantee of communication. Maybe you'll get the occasional blip, but unless you happen to stumble across that exoplanet in the Goldilocks zone, you could forever be a lone passenger on an exclusive one-way trip to oblivion. It's difficult to get noticed, and it's even more difficult to feel noticed. Despite us all being satellites sending out signals, the signals are not for each other. Ultimately, they're for ourselves. And who can blame us? If we want a worthwhile response, we must put all our energy into strengthening those signals we put out. As much as we say support fellow artists, when given a choice, most, if not all of us, would choose attention over support. And that's not being selfish, that's just being practical. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but my point is, despite all of what I've just said, there's always going to be value in what you put out there. Even if you've had to reinvent your image and leave all that stuff behind, that's still you, your mark in the digital space. And even if you don't see value in that past stuff, that doesn't mean no one else has or will. So once this video's over, do yourselves a favor. Check your old creepypastas, or your old fan fiction, your old artwork, anything else you might have put out there. Granted, I can't guarantee they've attained any semblance of impact, and I'm aware that it's easy for me to say all this. But who knows? Maybe you'll be surprised. I know I was. I asked earlier that without you, who's loving your work now? In my case, some were. If you're willing to slow down for a bit and take a peek into the past, what will you find?